we have an amazing gentleman with us, as I said before. Yes, he, I would say, is a person right into IT and doing so much and making a difference to society in a big way. A warm welcome to Shri Sanjay Kumar Das, the State Information and Security Officer, Member Secretary CS-CoE and Joint Secretary DIT&E Govt of West Bengal, and today he'll be in conversation talking about general data privacy and aspects. Sir, warm welcome to you right here on 91.9 Friends FM.
Thank you so much.
Wow, you've got a very good voice. Whenever if you feel you want an RJ, just let me know, sir. So, today is Data Privacy Day. I really want to ask you one question. I mean, how much of data, sir, in the world, in our personal lives, in our own digital domain is really private? Because even when we think it's private, there are, a lot of people who may be into it without our knowledge, or because of our stupidity, I would say, and the way we share and way we send out hajar things, or have people accessible to our social sites, engagement. It's no more private. So on this day of data privacy, how much of our data is actually private, actually secret, actually personal?
Hardly anything. Last time also I referred to this book that is called the book by Mr. Frederick Forsyth. The book is called The Afghan, and it actually opens up with this adage that whatever spoken word, every spoken word in this world is heard by somebody. So very recently, one of my friends, actually, he is the CEO of a large government company. Very recently, or say today morning itself, he told me that only a few days back, he was thinking of visiting uh, Bangkok, Pattaya, and Singapore, and all those places. And for a number of days, he was talking to his family members on this, his friends over phone, on social media, putting posts and all. And after that, he started receiving these things, many offers for those places and all. But actually, when he decided and he, you know, came upon this decision that he would be visiting Singapore, he did not only, find out things about Singapore on social media. He just talked to his friends and colleagues and family members, but he assured me that he had not done any search. And specifically based upon his, you know, monthly salary or something,
Okay.
he started receiving offers that this amount of money would lead you to this type of um, travel plans and all. And same thing happened the last this thing Christmas. Uh, 1 or 2 days before Christmas, even we are not Christians. At least Bengalis, they love cakes because
Absolutely.
they love anything food that is food. So this person or this lady, she was actually discussing with her family,
Okay.
about having Nahum's cake.
Okay. All of us love it.
Yes, absolutely. But she had not searched for Nahum's cake.
Means he had not done anything online.
No, nothing.
Okay.
She talked about a couple of times or a number of days.
And who she was talking with?
With her family members.
Family members.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it's not going to public.
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Okay.
And as she is a teacher and taking classes, online classes,
Mm.
so she was not also going out and talking to others per se. So she received leads in her Facebook page,
Okay.
cakes about Nahum, and it did not stop there. Actually, as that locality was also having this 10-minute delivery system,
Okay.
she started receiving the 10-minute delivery system is also delivering the Nahum's cake. And
This is
she actually,
quite strange. Huh?
yeah, and she fell into that trap and she actually bought it. Okay, she was, loving it.
No, I'm just curious.
Because
How does this happen?
Yes, because every spoken word was actually captured, analyzed,
Captured
and
how?
through the microphone of your phone.
Are you? How can
Yes,
that
because
be?
you have allowed it. You have allowed it for n number of applications. Acha,
Okay, yes, they say give permission, and that
yes,
permission.
not only that, right now, if you put up, take your phone and, you say, hey, Google, ask.
Hey Google. No, but that you have to press a button to say it, right?
Yes, so just imagine that I am using.
Okay, ekhane.
Yes.
Hey Google.
So I'm showing you just like that. It's very simple.
No, but even without doing anything,
No,
they're
no.
catching your voice.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Good evening. So he's listening to me. He's capturing everything that I say. Okay. That when I am allowing that, it is happening. And in most of our cases, we have allowed for n number of applications.
Yes, audio
So,
and all that.
This is not stupidity, what you have just referred to. This is not ignorance. Because, there cannot be anything that, what is ignorance? That I don't know anything, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Am I actually required to know? How much am I actually required to know? Am I required to know everything under the sun?
Not necessarily. I mean, you just.
Absolutely. Is it possible for, even the person who was preceding me, Mr. Bidit Mondol, a very senior officer in the police, does he know everything about IPC, CRPC, all these laws? No, not possible. Even the late, great Ram Jetmalani, was he knowing every act, every provision of the act?
Not possible.
Not possible. So issue is, I should be knowing what I am required to. Why I should know that these are things that I should or should not do? Because these things we are using without understanding the negative sides of these things.
Okay. And it's
Whether
all
I
in the apps.
really need this phone. This phone might be just a status symbol for me.
Okay.
So there are a number of things in this phone which I don't know, and I continue to use it, and they are being used against me. They are being leveraged against me. I am profiled.
The data is being captured.
Yes, no, we have allowed the data. It has surpassed us. It has been captured. I have been profiled. My life has been placed before me like, just a pack of cards.
Sounds dangerous.
No, not dangerous.
But it sounds scary.
Yes, it should sound scary, and we should be frightened because fear is the key. And as soon as we get frightened, another, domain starts getting business. Then they start selling me antivirus, anti-malware, anti-spam. If I do not get frightened, so
I know all of us have to put antivirus somewhere, and then we make sure.
no, the beauty is, if I am not frightened, then my data is captured, bought, sold on the market. If I am frightened, I buy things, and the same type of people, they get rich. So it is about fighting a virus, a menace.
Okay.
This is the fight about an invisible virus like corona, and we have to continuously fight it with cyber hygiene practices.
Cyber hygiene practices.
Absolutely.
We'll come back and we'll get to know a lot more. Today is Data Privacy Day. Data in itself, so much of it, as rightly said, it can profile you, it can know your lifestyle, it can know where you move, what you do, how you eat. You were talking about cakes and you got messages coming in. So it was captured somehow even without you using your phone or the online computer for a search. You need to be aware. You need to at least know the little bit. You don't need to know it all. But you need to be aware. Well, right now we have Manuel Ria right here with this beautiful track on 91.9 Friends FM. And yes, stay hooked because a lot more coming up. Modern Love right here, 9:19:33. Hey, don't go anywhere. Well, exactly 9:22 and 51 seconds across the studios, across the world, across the country, across the city. We are live right here on 91.9 Friends FM. Well, today is Data Privacy Day. And trust me, we don't take it seriously. यार चलो ठीक है यार, phone use कर दिया, ये use कर दिया, online चला गया. Some people just try out sites to search sites because they're curious about something and they don't know what's getting in where. But as rightly said here today, that we must practice cyber hygiene or we must
Yes.
practice data hygiene, whichever way you look at it. So tell me a little bit about it.
First of all, what is data? Data is apparently it is information, but data is not information. Data is an information that has value. So, what is the value of your name, Jimmy Tengri? It does not have any value.
Right.
Until and unless you start putting attributes to your name, you add your voter ID card number, Aadhaar number,
Okay.
phone number, bank account details. If you just log into right now, you log into Firefox Monitor. You put your email and you would find out how many times over the last few years your email has been hacked and compromised. I put it up yesterday while I was training 230 students teachers of Holy Child School Kalna. Because earlier I used to take others' email and put it there, and they get flustered. So I have started putting my own email ID. So as soon as I put in yesterday, it was 27th, and I found out as recent as on 15th of January, my data. My email ID, my password, the registration email ID, password, my preferences, my, what I have been buying from Aditya Birla retail, shop, that means the pantaloons and all those places, everything had been hacked.
Oops.
Okay, so, and not only that, they have profiled me what type of interest that is, it is clearly written. So there is a website called Have I Been Pawned? The pawned, PWNED. The website portal is Have I Been Pawned? PWNED. So if you put your email, it gives you how many times you have been hacked. So why I was not trusted yesterday? Because I continue changing my password. Because I know my details are,
Many people don't change their passwords. So
yes. So because they think that they will forget. Why they think that they will forget password? Because they actually do not use a very easy practice. What is that practice? Use your mother tongue. Use your mother tongue, like my mother tongue is Bengali. Convert it into English. Like I use, just imagine, a very, commonly used adage that I often use is there's a film called Beder Me Jyotsna. When I was, I was young in my 20s and all. So, if you just create a password like Beder Me Jyotsna in English, so what it will become? BEDER, B capital, R capital. Then you put a special character like hash. Then you write May, M capital, EY, E capital or small, and you do like this. So this Beder Mein Jyotsna you are not going to forget. And the special character or interest, putting it in between, you do not forget. You just can't forget this. Even if you forget, you can once again take a trouble and do not write down. You just click forget password and do the whole process. So these are hygiene practices, just like we use mask, sanitize ourselves, do not touch our mouth and face with open hands and all before we actually wash them. Even then, I myself contracted COVID twice. So even after taking vaccines and putting all these things, I'm getting contracted regularly. But my life is somehow getting prevented from going down, hill. So the beauty of this is, even after practicing all these things, I am getting exposed, and the limited exposure will not kill me, because I do not have any digital footprint in social media platforms, because I am not, I do not require. Only I have a LinkedIn
Absolutely.
profile, so I'm happy with that. So the thing is, what device I'm using, do I really need that device? What social media platform I was using, do I really need that platform? That's why today we have launched our data privacy pledge. So I
Okay.
would request each and every listener to right now go into the browser and type, CSCoE, Cyber Security Center of Excellence, in a short form, CSCoE .it, that means Information Technology and Electronics, .ite, CSCoE .ite .gov dot .wb .gov.in, that means West Bengal government and India, .wb.gov.in, CSCoE .itwb.gov.in. So /pledge, you go into that, you will be having a specific page, a portal for pledge. You click that pledge, and in the pledge you have been given 7 specific, very precise practices. If you follow them, more or less your data is protected or safeguarded, and you are trying to safekeep your data. In Bengali, we often call Nei Mama Che Kana Mama Bhalo. So these cyber hygiene practices, these data security practices is a Kana Mama. So please have that Kana Mama instead of Nei Mama. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a question Manav Soni is asking. If we face any trouble with respect to data privacy, when, where should we actually complain about these matters? How should
Yes,
we go about with it?
yes. See, data privacy has two faces. That means, if somebody has duped me by
Okay,
using my data, so he must have, or that person must have received that data somehow. It is, if it is due to me, that is my
my mistake or whatever.
or mistake, or my casually keeping those things and all. So that portion, that criminal intent of that portion of theft is gone. So if I have not been given anything, and if somebody has invaded me, then it is a clear violation of my rights. So that portion, the first portion, is a criminal offense. The second portion is, he is laying a trap for me, and I'm falling into that trap. Once again, if that trap, by somehow that person makes it that I'm laying this trap on my own, so you are falling into it, is your lack of knowledge or ignorance, as you have told, or something like that, then once again he is somehow saved. But other than that, when it is clear violation of my right, that means somebody is actually hacking me, has undertaken an intrusive act, come into my this thing, misrepresented me, and put up a fake profile of mine, Indian Penal Code, IT Act, n number of acts are there to prevent him. The beauty of IT Act, as Mr. Vidit Mondal told a couple of hours before, that it is over and above the act. That means, if somebody has violated both IPC, Indian Penal Code, and IT Act, there will be agglomeration or addition of the
That's right.
the remedy. That means, if one is, say, 3 years, another is 2 years, so 5 years imprisonment will be there. So IT Act actually adds up to the crime, the punishment under other acts. So definitely, we need to go first for any data privacy breach. We need to first go to the police. And right now, police in the state of West Bengal, we have 31 cyber police stations.
31
Yes,
cyber police stations.
yes. And recently, Kolkata police has been kind enough to open up, once again, new nine cyber cells in their nine, divisions. So you can more or less consider those cells to be acting as like additional police stations. And no, specifically you cannot just define them as police stations, but those nine cells and 31 police stations across the state of West Bengal. For Kolkata Police has a definitive cyber police station at Lal Bazar. So you can say that in Kolkata we have 10 instances of cyber crime remediation,
Across the city.
across the city centers, and in the state of West Bengal, that means another 30 police stations are there. For each of the police districts, there is one police station, and we are sure with the number of cases increasing day by day, and people are getting aware, with the help of police, with the help of home department, with the help of other departments, the school education department, technical education and training department, higher education department, we are actually spreading this awareness, this training, upskilling to every corner in the state. Like, as we are receiving huge response in this pledge taken today, because our every effort of our is, you can say, a zero cost effort. What is zero cost effort? We are not into handing the activity over to a third party and paying money to do it. Government is doing it on its own, using their own resources, until and unless their resources are going thin. So it is an in-house effort. So with this in-house effort, this pledge, this portal, everything is done by IT department, the Cyber Security Center of Excellence, all their own units. So every effort is an you can say a completely free of cost effort, and people are coming up in huge numbers. They are getting themselves trained on cyber hygiene practices. We have a number of courses. This cyber Shadinata program is a very, very the fruitful and successful program, an online training program. There are training programs for employees, for citizens, for the school teachers, cyber shikhok, and for police this is first responder training, detailed responder training, then the cyber the cyber security orientation training. There are those secure coding practice. There are so many training programs going on simultaneously, and people are coming up in hordes. Earlier there was hardly any GD even with regards to cyber case, and right now there are hordes of GDs turning into, or converting into this FIRs. And Kolkata Police and West Bengal Police, they are doing a marvelous job.
Absolutely.
I know lot of persons are not receiving that kind of support are they are supposed to, but it takes a lot of time to reach to that level. In our country, where population, with regards to population number of police force is very minuscule, even there our West Bengal Police and Kolkata Police, they are doing a marvelous job. So coming back to the answer to the person who has asked, we need to go to the police and clearly depict whatever has done, has happened with us. And if there is some loss of fund, that means money, if
Okay.
other than
Suppose there's a
the
bank fraud or
yes,
something like that.
other than the crime portion of it, one can, if it is not because of the person concerned, there is this cyber adjudication. So one can apply to the cyber adjudicator. Cyber adjudicator in the state, when every state is the, it is the secretary in the Department of Information Technology. So one should apply. And let me tell you, in the entire country, West Bengal was the first to give out its verdict on cyber adjudication in the year 2017. So it is really a great effort the government is taking, and definitely we have long way to go, lot of things. But if people do not come up for this awareness, with this awareness, and they do not start saying, but like it will become like sleeping while you are still awake.
Absolutely. Lots coming up on this amazing Data Privacy Day. You know what? Sometimes even I'm amazed at what's happening with the data and how Even without doing anything, the data is actually going swimming all over the place. And of course, hold tight. We're going to have a short break and we're going to get back right here at 9:37:31. Hold on. 91.9 Friends. Exactly 9:41 and 19 seconds live from the studios of 91.9 Friends FM. So much happening. And remember, it's all about data privacy. Of course, we have Mr. Sanjay Kumar Das, State Information and Security Officer, Member Secretary CS-CoE and Joint Secretary DIT&E, Government of West Bengal. Well, today we are on the Data Privacy Day, where we are talking about a lot of things. And the concern is a lot of things also getting out of our hands. And Mr. Das has been so kind enough to tell us in simple terms how we should go about, how we should practice hygiene to a certain extent. And there's always people out there to help us, train us, and we also should be a little sensible, you know.
Yes.
So, sir, if I have to ask you one thing, we started with data is no more private. That's why you're encouraging the privacy to come in. And also, we spoke last where Manav asked, like, who do I go to? What do I complain? How do I go about with it? And you were very, very clear about that. Now, this data, I wouldn't call it theft, but capturing it without a lot of people knowing, it's not reducing, it's not become paused, it's increasing in tons day by day. I mean, every day, every phone being bought or every computer being bought, and we know how much of phones and computers are. Initially, when India was there, you may have had 10 lakh phones. Today, you have phones in crores, and it's all across. I think at least about 50% of the world has phones, if 50% don't have. So, it's carrying on increasing data piracy, and we are strongly believing in data privacy. So, where do you see the future? How do you see that to some extent? I'm like to break mere themadabu to a certain extent. And how does it? It's not just about knowing it, but I think it's about being responsible also to a large extent.
Okay, fine. See, when it's free, you are the product. When it's free, I am the product. So, with that notion, when I am asking, Google to tell me, or the any search engine to tell me what is the capital of Fiji, what is the capital of Fiji, and somebody, his name is Mr. Jimmy Tengri, paid Google enormous amount of money, and the first result that comes into the Google is New Delhi is the capital of Fiji. It is called search engine optimizer.
So you pay money and you get your
Yes. So if you think that this happens with a 6-year-old, and there is a question given by his mother that what is the capital of Fiji, you just search in the internet, because most of the online classes, teachers are telling their students, go into the internet, find out, go into the internet, find out. Earlier they used to say, go to the library and find out from the book. The library is Google, Bing, and all these search engines. Go into the internet, find out. So she went into the internet, found out that New Delhi is the capital of Fiji. So what will her mother do? Coming, and if this happens so many times, over and over again, that means Jimmy Tengri has paid Google for a long time, say 6 months, and after that Jimmy Tengri stopped paying Google anyway. But even then, as it has been continuously showing that
capital,
New Delhi is the capital of Fiji, it might so happen, but Google will counter me, but no, we have a database and we just collect it from. It might happen that due to search engine optimization, as that very answer has been actually seen so many times, it happens with Quora. There is a very popular,
ask the question.
Ask the question, Quora tells you, and you see that 513 people liked it and 720 people actually access this data. So you are saying, okay, fine, chalo, theek hai. So then everybody starts finding, Fiji's new capital is New Delhi. So this is how things are being done. I dream of a time or a day when I search the capital of Fiji and Google gives me money into my account. Because one, Google is, or this type of search engines are taking my data and my
Okay.
consent to sell them to the third party because they are providing me with the service. And not only that, then the next thing is they are giving me, showing me advertisements. So the consideration is not one. So I dream of a day when my data, which is my right and my responsibility, so that day, on that very day, data will be considered as a commodity. It will be protected under Consumer Protection Act, and it will be considered as the consideration. So there will be an impressed contract between the search engine and me, that you are using my data and you are bound to give me the correct answers, and I'm not going to see any advertisement whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So this is first thing. This is called right and responsibility. So I want each one of our listeners today to think and start dreaming about a day when all of us for one day will stop using any
Such
damn free things
okay.
on the net. So we will be actually accessing using emails and we will pay for that. We will access search engine and we will pay for that, because we are paying more than what we should have paid otherwise.
Through the database.
Yes, if I would be very easily pay money for my email account, which is per se free. It is not free, because the salary, when it is coming and how the salary is increasing or decreasing, from that they are capturing data, creating my profile on the net of and credit score. I often think how credit scores are made. We're talking about data, so people must understand. I repaid a loan of mine, my credit score fell. And I called up the bank and I said, just try to understand this private bank, that I repaid my loan and my credit score failed. How it happened? Well, actually, this is the credit score. There's a rating company and all. So I tried to find out whether that rating company and all these things are as per RBI rules. I could not find out. Some listeners might be helping me. Which act or which provision under RBI actually provides this credit score? But even all these channels and everywhere it is advertised that your interest rate depends upon your credit score.
Oh.
While I was listening to your show in today morning, I heard a bank's home loan,
Yes.
and they were offering good loans if your credit score is good.
Good.
So you repay a loan, your credit score falls, and you are receiving, as you have repaid, so you are being charged more interest because your credit score has failed. So data per se, how to protect data. Protection can only be possible when we all start discussing about data and we understand that data is mine. I am the owner of the data, and it is my right, that my data is my fundamental right and it should be protected, as in the case of Putusami, where Honorable Supreme Court has mandated that privacy is my right. It is my right to remain unknown.
Absolutely.
That is my privacy. And third, it is my responsibility that I will definitely fight. How? By upskilling myself, getting knowledge from all around, and making everybody know. So if I falter, if I face any crime, if I become a victim of a crime, there should be a LinkedIn profile type thing where I do not put my successes but my failures. So there should be. I'm dreaming of that time when everybody will say I have become a victim, and this is the modus operandi they made. Because recently when I actually I had the opportunity of meeting some senior citizens and talk to them for 1.5 hours. So at the end of the discussion, they were discussing amongst themselves. We were having a cup of tea, and I heard, ঘোষবাবু আপনি তো বলেননি যে আপনার সঙ্গে এরকম ঘটেছে. So the thing is, I'm getting duped and I'm not telling because I bought a pressure cooker.
Okay.
At only 250 rupees, which I should have bought by paying 1000 rupees, and it does not actually work fine. But when you ask me, I say it is giving me, because I do not want myself to be projected that I become a victim of a fraud. So when that thing will be over, so that is the emancipation. We should go towards that society when data will be open like a lake and nobody would pick up.
Excellent. Amazing. And I hope it stays that way, because we got this beautiful track coming up, Justin Bieber style, right here with Stay on 95136, only on the truly live station of the nation, 91.9 Friends FM. Well, Data Privacy Day. So much, Mr. Das. I mean, it's really truly amazing. You said data, like a lake of data, pool of data. I mean, what does it mean? I mean, a pool of data, a lake of data. I mean, is there a difference? Or what is
Yes,
it about?
it is called open data. Okay, open data.
Open data. Okay.
Absolutely. That means if consider the case of a king
Okay. Okay.
who is walking down the road without clothes. Okay, and he's so powerful, nobody is questioning him.
Okay. Because he's powerful.
Yes. So he's denuded actually. Okay. So he has nothing to lose, and nobody can question him. And if we do that thing with data, if we open up all our things, and the society is based upon open data. So that's why it is called open data policy. It means whenever that pool is having my data, it is getting anonymized.
Okay.
What is anonymization? That means every data that is valuable or can be bought or sold is called personally identifiable information. That means the information from which one can be profiled, or you can reach back to the person who is the owner of the data. Just DIT&E will not bring anybody to you. There are so many attributes one must know in order to come down to this place. Similarly, the prior, personally identifiable information, if you just cut those attributes and keep that denuded thing in the pool or the lake, then anybody can take it. So what data is actually bought and sold? The data that is bought and sold can be profiled and can be leveraged against you. But these data are also being utilized by n number of industries and startups, MSMEs. But they do not require your name or attributes. They want the transactional details.
Okay.
That means they want a person aged between 50 and 55 uses, this type of pressure medicine.
Okay.
But they do not require my name to be added to that.
Okay.
But they don't get. That's why they buy it from the black market. If government can actually denude, that means actually clears the personally identifiable portion from this data and put it up, and then it can be taken up by industry or the MSME or the startups. And Government of West Bengal has done such.
Okay.
That is, it has brought out a policy that is called Public Transactional Data Sharing Policy.
Okay.
So it is talking about a data repository or data pool or a data lake, which will have the transactional data but denuded of personally identifiable information.
Okay.
So industry can utilize that without cost, and they can create beautiful solutions. And this is also in line with open data policy of Government of West Bengal, India. And if our listeners want, they can go into data.gov.in and find out the open data policy.
Okay.
And in the open data policy, they will get a lot of denuded data about COVID and other things. And huge number of organizations are using those data, and they are actually bringing out solutions for the betterment of the society. So I dream of one day when my data will be before your eyes, but you cannot use it against me.
Okay.
So This is called open data policy.
Right.
And open data is leading to, if
Hmm.
I am having an application and you want to handshake with me, I am exposing, a web service from my application. So you can exchange your application, data from your application and access my application, obviously based upon my consent. But immediately connecting these two applications will be a beneficial application that will serve the purpose of the society.
Wow.
And that is called open AI. So open API, the application program interface of my application, I have made it open
And anyone can access it.
and anyone can access. Like
There are,
open
there are,
API of map. My
there are
map
open
my-
softwares which you can use,
Yes.
and it
That is
doesn't
called
require-
FOSS,
Okay.
free and open software, open source software. So that is a different thing. And open API is my application is having a lot of data, and you want to use that, leverage that. So you are using the application program interface that I have exposed
Okay.
and utilizing that and using my
Wow.
platform and bringing value to the society.
This is truly amazing. There's so much, we could carry on and on and on and on, and it could take a couple of days before we have a lighting. So, as you move forward on a daily basis, there's so much new stuff coming up. There's so much, the privacy malfunctioning happening, and there are also countermeasures to ensure that more training, more awareness, because ultimately it is the people themselves can bring about a difference. And of course, taking together with the government and the policies can actually bring about an openness where you don't even have to steal your data.
Yes.
It's available, so go ahead and take it, as long as you don't affect me, in the sense that do not use it against me.
Or it has been, it has been so skillfully, withered or devoid of that, that threat. That means even if I try to use, I cannot reach down to you.
What a small world, what a big world, whichever way you look at it. And sir, it's been slightly over 1 hour we've been talking. There's so much to talk, but as we are coming nearing the end of the communication and the amazing communication you've given across today on this Data Privacy Day, what message? I mean, you've said so much, advising, and so many messages you give to the public. So, what message would you like to give to the city of Joy, to the country, to the state, to the world tonight? Sitting on this chair and talking about data privacy or whatever comes to your heart, what would you tell the world live from the studios of 91.9 Friends FM?
Yes, the message is very loud and clear that my data, I must understand what is my data, and any information pertaining to me, that has value is my data. It is my right, and the government has the responsibility, because I am a part of the government as a citizen.
Right, sir.
Government has the responsibility to help me, assist me by awakening me. That should be awakened inside me. I should be awakened by the government efforts, by generating awareness. I should upskill myself so that my data is my right. I understand that it is my right. And collectively, collaboratively, and taking everybody together, I walk towards such a point where I understand that this is my responsibility.
Absolutely.
So, my data, my right, and my responsibility.
Amazing. My data, my right, and my
Just to
responsibility.
end,
Yes, sir.
you cannot and can never raise anybody's kid. You can only raise your own kid. So data, just like that, data is mine. I own the data. So I have to raise it. I have to safekeep it, just like my kid.
So, I mean, when you're saying safe, keep it like your kid, how would you safe keep your data, sir? If I have to ask you, you got data.
How do I safekeep my son or the daughter? By making them aware how to fight with the world.
Okay.
So I'll do that thing with the data also.
Amazing. I think awareness is a key criteria to.
Absolutely. Awareness is a responsibility of the government. Knowledge is the responsibility of the professional world, and collectively, two
People.
things will go towards wisdom, because a wise society can only fight this menace that is called cyber crime.
Absolutely. And I think people should realize it. Today, the entire day, we've had a lot of people talking about it. And I think it's important because if we don't do it now, the volcano is going to erupt in time to come. And you can understand when a tsunami or volcanic eruption comes,
It is already there.
what's already there.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you.
It is already there. There are in number of tsunamis. They are over. In
in the
we
cyber
are-
world.
Yes, absolutely. So we are going through, but we have to fight.
And you all are doing it at a big scale, in fact. You're like studying
Yes.
it, aware, create. You all.
Because awareness is all about skill, not about quality.
Absolutely, sir.
In sanitation program, I often give this, this thing. In sanitation program, until and unless people were made to understand that they require sanitation, that means sanitary latrine unit in each of their
They will
each of their houses, they
require that.
They require that. It might be the case that I require 2 units, your family require 1 unit. That is the decision, or that is the knowledge that is given by the professional person and
Absolutely.
based upon my need. But both of us, everybody requires. So that's how this thing has become in a mission mode, and this has become a revolution. And over the last, few years, like last 15-20 years, from a meager 30-40% coverage of sanitary units, we have crossed the threshold of 95%.
Wow. Wow. So
Same
I'm
thing
sure-
will happen with data privacy, data security, information security, and per se the entire domain of cybercrime. We will fight it with the knowledge of cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think today, a lot of people have opened their eyes, who've been listening, have understood to a certain extent that yes, even if I know a little bit, I must get myself to know more. Yes, sir.
Those who have opened their eyes, we are ready to hold their hands.
Excellent, sir. Thank you so much. And I look forward to more interactions, and I look forward that we can come together and we can actually together make people aware, make people more educated in the cyber and the cyber crime and the data privacy area, so that eventually each one stand on their own 2 feet.
As
You
a
know-
cyber champion.
Absolutely, sir. And thank you so much for joining us tonight as usual. And thank you so much for coming live, engaging, interacting, and making us, I would say, a bit more learned, about data, privacy, piracy, cybercrime, etc., and how we should start on the track, on the route of being responsible, being aware, and also being careful.
We have already started.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for giving us this opportunity.
No, sir, it's our pleasure.
We are
In
humbled.
fact, it's been a very
Honored.
lovely learning experience for all of us, my team, myself. And I think this is something that learning experience will never stop. It's going to be a continuity. And wishing you and your team an awesome 2022. And the way you all are coming forward and creating the awareness, I think we definitely are going to move at high speed
Yeah.
in terms of people becoming more aware, more careful, and somewhere or another curtailing all which is happening in the long run.
The 5G of awareness.
5G
Of awareness.
awareness. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we have a song coming up. And once again, sir, thank you for being with us in the studios. And it was really nice. Well, Monster X coming in to say magnetic right here on 10-10-13. And guys, plug in those headphones, hear it loud, and enjoy the sound.